Good morning everyone. In the previous class we had discussed regarding the two protozoan diseases, that is malaria as well as the amoebiasis, and also we had discussed regarding the life cycle of the plasmodium. So in this today's class we are going to discuss regarding the three more diseases. So among them the two helminthus diseases and one fungal disease. So now first let us discuss regarding the helminthus disease. So that is the fifth one, that is Ascariasis. So Ascariasis is caused by a helminthus called, so that is the causative agent for this Ascariasis is Ascaris lumbricoides, so which is commonly called as a roundworm. So in general it is called as a roundworm and the scientific name is Ascaris lumbricoides. So which is the organ that is infected by Ascariasis? So the infected organ is intestine. So this intestine includes both the large intestine as well as the small intestine. So what are the symptoms? So the symptoms are going to include the internal bleeding, fever, anemia, muscular pain, and blockage of intestinal passage. And the last is the mode of transmission. So the mode of transmission, so here the infected person's feces consist of eggs of this Ascaris lumbricoides, right? So this is going to contaminate soil, water and plants. So when this is taken by the normal person, that person is going to get infected by this Ascariasis, right? So the sixth disease which we are going to discuss, that is the Ascariasis, right? So why it is called as Ascariasis means it is caused by a helminthus or a roundworm called as a Ascaris lumbricoides, right? So this Ascaris lumbricoid is going to infect our organ, that is intestine. So this intestine includes both the small intestine as well as the large intestine. So coming to the symptoms. So what are the symptoms that are caused by the disease Ascariasis? So firstly it is going to cause the internal bleeding, then fever, anemia, muscular pain and also the blockage of the intestinal passage. So these are the symptoms which are caused by the Ascaris lumbricoides. So now coming to the mode of transmission. So how this disease is transferred from one person to another person? So usually the person who is infected by this Ascariasis, so that person is going to excrete the eggs of this parasite, right? So his feces, that is the stools or the excretory material coming out, so that is going to consist of eggs of this Ascaris lumbricoid. So when this egg is going to contaminate the soil, it is going to contaminate the water and it is also going to contaminate the plants. So when the soil is taken up by the plants, and again these plants are contaminated with this roundworms, right? So and the drinking water. So when the normal person is going to have this contaminated food or the contaminated water, that is contaminated food means contaminated fruits and vegetables or the contaminated water, so that person is going to get infected by this Ascaris lumbricoides, right? So that is regarding the Ascariasis. So now coming to the next helminthus disease, that is the elephantiasis. So the sixth one is the elephantiasis. or filariasis. So as it is caused by a filarial worm, so it is also called as a filariasis, and it is also called as a elephantiasis. So which is the infected organ here, or the causative agent? So the causative agent in case of the elephantiasis is Wuchereria. Wuchereria. So this is having two different species, that is Wuchereria bancrofti and Wuchereria malai. So this Wuchereria is having two different species. One is Wuchereria bancrofti and one is Wuchereria malai. So which is the organ? So the infected organ in case of this elephantiasis are usually lymphatic vessels of limbs and genital organs. So what are the symptoms? So the main symptoms are those. So it is going to cause a chronic, means severe inflammation in organs in which it is going to live for many years. Right? So now coming to the mode of transmission. So here even the elephantiasis is a vector-borne disease. So it is also a vector-borne disease. So it is caused by a vector. Again here also the same female mosquito, but here the mosquito is Culex. Right? So there is a female Culex mosquito. So that is going to cause the infection, or it is going to spread the disease. So here elephantiasis, why it is called as elephantiasis means the organ in which this parasite is going to live. So it is going to cause a severe inflammation, and it is going to be, that organ is going to become large. So usually the organs of the elephantiasis is so much large, so that we have given the name, we have named it as a elephantiasis. Or it is also called as a filariasis. Why means this Wuchereria is nothing but the filarial worm. So that's why it is also called as a filariasis. So what is the causative agent for this elephantiasis or filariasis means? That is Wuchereria. So Wuchereria is a helminthus or a filarial worm. So it is having two different species. One is Wuchereria bancrofti and one is the Wuchereria malai. So which organ is getting infected by this elephantiasis or the filariasis? Usually this Wuchereria bancrofti or the Wuchereria malai, so they can live in any of the organs of our body, but most frequently or usually it is going to affect, or it is going to infect the lymphatic vessels of the limbs, that is lower limbs usually. So lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs and the genital organs, right? So what are the symptoms of this elephantiasis or the filariasis is that, so here whenever the organ is infected by this Wuchereria bancrofti or Wuchereria malai, so that organ is severely going to get the inflammation. Inflammation means what? Irritation, swelling, itching, so or the allergy. So that is going to be termed as a inflammation. Chronic means severe. So the severe allergy or the severe inflammation is called as a chronic inflammation. And this Wuchereria bancrofti or Wuchereria malai, it is going to live for many years. So it is not for 1 day or 2 days, or it can be easily cured, but it is going to be present there for long years, right? So that's why it is going to create a chronic inflammation in a particular organ where it is going to stay. So now coming to the next thing, that is the mode of transmission. So how this disease is transmitted from one person to another person. So the thing is here, again this elephantiasis is a vector-borne disease. So what is this vector-borne disease means? So the diseases which are transmitted with the help of a vector, so those are called as a vector-borne disease. So as we have studied in the case of the malaria. So malaria is also vector-borne disease, and that vector which causes the malaria is the female Anopheles mosquito. But in case of the elephantiasis, it is different. So that is the female Culex mosquito is going to cause, or it is going to transmit the disease from one person to another person. So that's all regarding this elephantiasis or the filariasis. So now let us discuss the last disease in the common disease of human. So that is the eighth one, and the fungal disease. Eighth one is a fungal disease, right? So that is ringworm. So ringworm is a fungal disease, and it is most common in the, it is a most common infectious disease in case of the man. So usually it is most common in case of the man, and it is a very infectious disease. So what are the causative agent? So here the ringworm is caused by the fungi, namely the genera we are going to mention here, that is Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. So these are the three genera of the fungi, so that are going to cause this ringworm diseases, right, or the infectious disease. So here, which is the infected organ? So these fungi are going to infect the organ such as the skin, then scalp and nails. So what are the symptoms? So it is going to cause dry and scaly lesions as well as intense itching. Then coming to the mode of transmission. So it is transmitted by using the towels of the infected person, using towels, comb of infected person and from soil. Right? So this is regarding the ringworm disease. So ringworm disease is a disease which is caused by a fungi. So namely we are going to mention here three genera. The first one is the Microsporum, then Trichophyton and the Epidermophyton. So these are the three important species or three important genera of the fungi that are going to cause this infectious disease, that is ringworm. So it is usually seen in the men. So then which are the infected organs? So it is going to infect the scalp. So that is a dandruff is also a kind of a fungi. So then skin, then also the nails. So these are the organs that are infected by this ringworm diseases. So then what are the symptoms? So the skin is going to get dry, it is going to cause a scaly lesion. So whenever you just rub it with a, or you make a scratch, so that are going to cause a scaly lesions on the skin, scalp or on the nails. And also it is going to cause a intense itching. So it is also going to cause the intense itching. So then what is the mode of transmission? So how this disease is transmitted from one person to another person? So whenever the infected person is going to share his towel or he is going to share the comb with a normal person, that normal person is having the chances of getting this diseases, that is the ringworm disease, and also from the soil, right? So we might have seen this ringworm disease which are present in the soil. So they are going to settle in between the toes and they are also going to cause the disease, that is the ringworm disease. So that's all for the today's class. So till now we have discussed the 8 common diseases in man. So we'll just recall it. Okay, so these are the 8 common diseases that were studied in this chapter. The first 2 are the bacterial disease, the one is the typhoid and the second one is the pneumonia. So after that we have studied a viral disease, that is the common cold. So then we have discussed the 2 protozoan disease, one is malaria and the second one is the amoebiasis. After that we have discussed with the protozoan disease, helminthes disease, ascariasis and elephantiasis. And then we are also discussed with the fungal disease, that is the ringworm. So these are the 8 common diseases in case of the humans. So in the next class we will be studying how to prevent or how to take care of these infections, or how to avoid, or what are the things we have have to take care of so that we are not infected by this common diseases, right? Thank you.